right, so taking off the pounds, back to Techniques 101, and today we're going to talk about, what are these?
Leeks.
Leeks, absolutely. What do you know about leeks?
They grow in the ground? No. They leek soup. I've had leek fennel soup.
Yeah.
That was actually probably one of the best soups I've ever had. It was
Great.
delicious.
Yeah, a lot of times used in soups, really used all over Europe. Much more popular in Europe than in America.
I was in Amsterdam.
Yeah, but people need to use more, and these are produced organically in California. It's one of those dishes you do eat. You can eat the whole thing, so you really want to make sure that you get an organic product whenever you can. A lot of people are intimidated by them because, you know, they're big, they can be sandy and gritty, kind of like these are, and they don't know how to use them. But basically, don't be intimidated. It's just like a giant scallion. Okay, so you think of it the same way. In the scallion, you use the whole thing. In a leek, you should use the whole thing as well. The only part we're going to lose are the roots.
Now, is this like when you cut the onion, you just want to cut the very, very tip of that?
Yeah, you can see that I cut this off. There's still a big surface of white area that hasn't been layered off like book pages. So you really want to have that together. It's going to hold it together. All right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to separate it out to the different uses. Okay. The top part, this part is going to be the toughest part. Doesn't mean that you can't eat it, and you can't eat it just as is, but a lot of people will set this aside and they'll use this for stocks, they'll use it for soups, broths, that kind of thing. But it's also very good. You just need to remember that when you're using this part of the leek, and I'll do less at a time just because it's easier to show, you want to cut it very thin.
Because it is tougher.
Because it's tough. So yeah, what you're doing here, these are long fibers that run the whole length of the leek. So you want to make those fibers small, otherwise they're going to be stringy. So anytime you're using the top part of the leek, you're going to cut it super thin. Okay, and you can see that. Then I can go ahead and cut the rest of these. If you want to grab a little bowl, you can put these right in there. You're the house cleaner. No, grab that white one underneath the. There we go. All right. Now be careful whenever someone's using a knife not to get too close to the knife, otherwise you might lose your manicure.
What are you talking about?
Remember, safety first. Okay, and you can kind of see here there's some dirt and sand and things coming off this.
Yeah.
That means we're going to need to really wash these well before we use them. When leeks grow, they naturally get a lot of sand. Look at all that sand in there. All right, so that's scary to a lot of people, and if you've had food that has sand in it, it's really not very good. It's not a good thing. Martha Stewart would say it's a bad thing.
It's a bad thing.
Okay, so now we've got the rest of the leeks. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut them about halfway through,
A long way.
Vertically.
Okay.
And then we're going to go and wash them and get all that sand out. Now, when we wash it, we want to use kind of lukewarm water. Our tendency would use ice water, use cold water right out of the tap. Make it lukewarm, because that is just like if you're washing your body. It's easier to get the dirt off if the water is a little bit warm than if it's ice cold. So I will be back after I do that. Maybe you can wash the board. All right, so we've washed these really well. I'm just going to take off these kind of tougher outer leaves. Okay, and this is the part that we really can use for stocks and broths. Again, put them in a plastic bag, throw it in your freezer. Next time you make chicken soup, you can just pull that frozen bag of veggie peels and parts and use that in your stock. Okay, now this is the most delicious part of the leek, You can use this for many, many different things. They even make a salad in France, which is just poached leeks with Dijon mustard vinaigrette, which is really great. You serve it cold. You can also serve it warm. You can make a gratin where you would just cut these into pieces and then top them with a nice cream sauce and Parmesan cheese and bake them off until they're brown and crusty. And then you can use them for soups, for vichyssoise, for cold potato leek soup. Lots of different uses. And, you know, this is a great way to practice your knife skills too. So if you want to work on that rocking motion, you know, and start, you know, you can cut, see, these are medium, these are fine. So you can say, okay, I want to cut these medium. Okay. This would almost be called paysan style or peasant style, which is, it's not mirepoix. Mirepoix would be a large cut. So this would be paysan. And then mirepoix, if you were just cutting it for soups or for a pureed soup, you'd cut it in big chunks like that. Okay, and then we also have julienne. Julienne is the fine ribbons. So I'm going to cut off that little end piece. I'm going to lay it out flat and cut it julienne. Okay, and we'll do the same thing with this one.
And yes, with practice, so can you.
So that's a julienne. And then we could do a chiffonade would be more like this very, very end one, but we can do a chiffonade of leeks. We're going to take this nice white part, cut it super thin. Okay, see, that's almost paper thin. That's a chiffonade. So, you know, that one leek shows you all the different vegetable cuts that you can do with onions and different allium family members. So, you know, it's another way that you can add some green to your life and enjoy the poireau.
Pardon me?
I'm Chef D.
And I'm Dr. K.
And we're cooking leeks at Sautéing Off the Pounds.
Have a great day.